Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and we are live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special show for you today. We have with us Mr. Eddie Sanchez, former professional boxer, former champ. Tell us about that. What titles did you have?
I had two titles, the junior middleweight titles, WBU and in GBU titles. My fighting class was 154, 160 around there.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, and you're 154. You're a pretty tall guy for a middleweight, right? You're 6'2"?
I'm pretty tall for my weight.
Yeah.
That was my advantage when I was fighting, because a lot of people didn't want to fight me because of my height. But then again, I had the advantage to either move up or move down. So when I was making weight, I didn't have to worry that much. I would just stay at steady weight and just go from there, either up or down.
Wow, amazing. Now, what years did you fight?
I turned pro in 1997, and I retired about 7 years ago. So
You're 108 now.
So 100. I'm actually about 15 I fought almost professionally, and it still feel like it was yesterday. Even watching some of these fights, I'm looking at some of these fighters. Oh man, how long ago was that? I don't remember this guy. I remember when they were little, so now they're all grown up, and so it makes time just stand still sometimes.
So let's start at the beginning. What made you want to be a fighter?
At the very beginning, when I came here to the U.S., I came here when I was 8 years old.
And you came from?
From Mexico, Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico.
Yeah.
I came here when I was 8 years old. I grew up here. I basically became Americanized being here.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started out, I was living in South Central LA. My biggest goal when I was growing up, it was to get out of there. I didn't want to be around that area. It was just different for me. I didn't want that similar or that kind of lifestyle, watching everybody do the same thing over and over. So for me, that's what got me into fighting. I never thought that I was gonna go this far. For me, fighting was just a way to learn how to defend myself and how to keep myself busy. And just one day, out of the blue, I just decided, you know what? I want to learn how to fight. I didn't want to go and be the best fighter there was. I just wanted to do it just to get me out of there. And once I started doing it, I didn't know I was gonna take it this far. I was like, wow, people say, hey, you're good. I go, what? I didn't feel like it was, because there's times that I was still getting hit. I go, if I'm that good, why am I getting hit still?
Yeah.
But that's the first thing that actually made me want to fight, just to be able to travel and get out of the environment I was growing.
And how old were you at that time?
I started when I was 5, when I was in Mexico.
When you were 5 years old?
When I was 5 years old, I was in Mexico.
Wow.
I came here to the U.S. when I was 8.
Yeah.
I've stopped for a while, and then I picked it up again when I was about 12, 13 years old again.
So you were a tough little kid?
Actually, no. I was one of the biggest baby you ever meet.
Really?
And people, even up to this point, people look at me and go, dude, how were you ever a fighter? Like, I was like the biggest timid kid you ever meet. But as soon as I would get angry, like everything would black out. I was a different person. So when I was in the ring, that basically, it was like if I was at home, I was comfortable in there. For some reason, I was like comfortable. I was like, everything was just, I'll forget about all my worries and feel, man, I'm home. And as soon as the bell rang, everything would just black out. I didn't know where I was. I just knew what I needed to do, and I was gonna have fun, and that's it. But as soon as the fight was over, I will be back to my normal self. Like, whoa, what happened? Like, sometimes I wouldn't remember that I was in a fight. That's how much I will focus myself and blacking everything out just to go forward.
But obviously, you had to be around some people that were in the fight business, right? I mean, there had to be a gym around that.
Yeah, there was a couple of gyms when I was growing up. When I started out, when I got back to it, I went to the city jail up in LA. That's what they had. It was an old jail where they kept everybody incarcerated, but it turned into a boxing gym. From there, I met one of my first trainers here in the U.S. His name was Kid Rayo. He's one of the old-time fighters, and he used to spar and train with Kid Gavilan back in the day as well. And little by little, he came to the point that he could only do so much because of the age, so he sent me to somebody else. So when I went to a different gym, to the other people that he referred me to, that's when everything started getting more real, more surreal, because I started seeing all the fighters that you see on TV at that era that I was growing up, and I go, wow, I never thought I was gonna be in the same place that they were. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about the old timers, from David Kamau to Julio Cesar Chavez to Maromel Paez to every now and then I will see little Red Lopez come into the gym and just to stay in shape. I will see Ken Norton sometimes going there, and I'm thinking like, wow, I'm actually here with these guys, and I didn't know what to think of it.
Yeah.
And from there it just kept going and going.
Interesting. Yeah. Speaking of Ken Norton, we just lost him last year. He was here in Vegas.
Yeah, he used to go to San Diego a lot when I was at the gym up there. He used to go and visit us, and I liked him. He was a very nice person,
Very nice.
very. You could say he was very gentle. But if you look at him from the outside, go, man, who's this guy? He looks mean, but he had a very gentle soul, very something gentle about him. But he was a good guy. I liked him, and I miss him actually. Every now and then, I still think that he's still there in San Diego, and like it's not there anymore.
I've had a chance to know a lot of, actually quite a few boxing champions, mostly heavyweights, famous names. But for the most part, most of them are just amazingly nice people. They're just wonderful people, and to think that they get in the ring and they turn into these killers, it's really hard to imagine them doing that. But something must happen. I mean, what happens? How do you flip that switch?
The thing about fighting is like, for me, for my experience, there was time when I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I didn't want to get angry at people, and that's the time that we actually will go there, and we feel like we're home, because we could take all of that and channel it and just let it out, work it out. And then and for us, that was like, for me example, that was like, I couldn't wait to go in there, because that's the only time that I will feel like I could do something. Everything that went wrong, because I couldn't do it outside, because if I did, you get in trouble, you go to jail, you get shot, you get stabbed. So I would take all of that and go into the gym and the ring and just let it out there. And so for most of us, that would be like our safe haven, because instead of taking that out on people outside, we just leave it in the ring and we go about our business, and we're okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about getting angry, because there was no point of getting angry, because like we had this thing. Actually, was I think it was Chicanito Hernandez that passed away not so long ago. He used to tell me, if you're gonna fight to get paid.
Yeah.
Why fight on the street when you can end up getting hurt, and you still have to pay for this and for that, and you might end up getting killed, shot, dead. So
That makes a lot of sense, huh?
so we would go in the ring and just go in there. I mean, there was time when he would school me around like a little rat dog, and I was like, wow, okay. But I would learn a lot from those guys, So, and that what's helped us channel everything that we have all pulled up and just let it out in the ring. And people don't realize, just because we're fighters or we were fighters doesn't mean that we're always angry. People always say, oh, he's a fighter, he has a bad attitude. We're not that way. We do it because that's a sport, because we love to do it. And it's like when people do karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, why do they do it? Because they like it.
Right.
And it helps us, whether mentally and physically and sometimes spiritually, just to release everything.
So you came to the U.S. when you were 8,
Mm-hmm.
and your whole family came?
My mom was already here,
Oh.
and I came here with my brother and I first.
Uh-huh.
And then my sister, no, actually it was my mom, then my sister came, and a couple of years later my brother and I came after.
Oh,
So my 2 younger brothers, they were born here. It's just my older brother and I, we were born in Mexico. And my sister was born in San Diego, as a matter of fact.
okay.
So that's why she was here.
And your father, did he come as well? Or?
No, he didn't. I never got to meet my dad. My dad passed away before I met him. I wasn't even born when he died. My older brother met him. So 2 years after I was born, he passed away. Before I was born, he passed away.
Oh my goodness.
2 years after. And so, but I don't know if it would have made a difference something in my life or not. 'Cause I can't really say it would or wouldn't have, because I don't know, which direction would I gone. Maybe I would have not fought. Maybe I would have. Maybe I would have continued fighting. Who knows? But people say, for example, my mother and my family, my uncle say, if you would have had your dad, you would have made it even more farther than what you made it now. And then some people say, no, if you would have had your dad, would have never let you fight, because I didn't know he used to box when he was younger either. They kept telling me those stories after I was here, so I never knew he used to be a fighter too. So, I guess
So you got it in the blood, maybe.
I guess I had it in the blood.
Yeah. So you came here when you were 8, and you lived in East Central LA,
South Central.
or South Central LA.
Yes.
And what was that like in those days?
And those days it was when a lot of riots were going on back in the day. I was still there with the when the Ronnie Kid beating happened. I was there when the Watts Tower were people were having shootout against the cops, and then the Crips and the Bloods, and then you had 18th Street, and you had these other gangs around there. I was literally right in the middle of all of those gangs. So if I go 2 blocks down, I'm in this gang. If I go 2 block cut downs the other way, I'm in a different gang territory. 2 more blocks down the other way. So I was like literally in the middle. In the middle, I was in that neutral, central area. So, and that's what and most of the time people would get upset because I have to choose a side. I go, why? I walk through here every day. I'm gonna see all of you guys every day. If I'm not talking to you now, I'm talking to you, the other guy, which is my neighbor, and then you're my neighbor, like 2 houses down. So why am I supposed to pick and choose which sides to go to? So it was kind of rough at first. I mean, we had a. For me, watching the while I was growing up, I would say it was normal because I didn't know any better being here. But now that I look at it from a different point of view, different perspective, now that I'm older, and I didn't realize it was that bad until you got older, because we will see it almost people getting shot, drive-by, stabbed, killed, and you would think that was just a normal thing as you're growing up. But once you get out of that part, that neighborhood, or that area, or that world you're living in, you see it from the outside now. You go, wow, I was in that. Like, how did I even survive being there?
Wow.
It's just, which is different.
Yeah. Amazing. So you had to have had some crazy experiences back in those times, especially with all the gangs swirling around. And do you remember some of the really horrific things that you've witnessed?
One particular incident that happened, it was when at that point, it's a good friend of mine. He was my best friend, one of the people that I met when I came here. We were actually walking to the store. And as we were walking, I remember a car just pulling in front of us. And somebody from behind just came and shot him on the back of the head.
Oh, my goodness.
And I remember looking at him on the floor, and the guy literally looking at me going, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's right in front of me, and they took off. Just told me to stay quiet, don't say anything. And I remember looking at him on the floor, I go, wow, what am I supposed to do now? Am I supposed to tell his mom or not? I mean, at that point, like, once I heard the shot, everybody came out, and of course they saw, but that was one of the things that I witnessed right in front of me. Another incident that happened is when I was coming from after school. I remember, I think I was in junior high, because I remember at that point, when I was coming around, I got off the bus stop, and I was going around the corner. I remember there was still a church right in front of me right there, and I'm going around the corner. I was going around the corner, I see this pickup truck, and as soon as they got out, they started shooting this person right in front of me, like, bah, bah, bah. They just unloaded on the guy. And I remember turning around and picking up this lady that was carrying grocery bag. I don't know where I got this train from, but I picked her up in the grocery bag and just took off running with her. Next thing I know, I'm thinking, like, how in the hell did I pick this person up? And I see that car circling around, making sure nobody was watching, nobody saw anything. And then at that moment, like, that's what I started thinking, I gotta get out of here. Just walking around the corners, you're getting shot, you get people killed. You got my best friend getting killed at that point. It's just it's a lot of things that goes through mind when you're young, and then I started debating whether if I hang out with these people, would that be better, or would I hang out with those other gang, would that be better? It was hard to pick and choose what to do. So, by the age of 16, I moved out. I needed to get out of there, or else I wasn't gonna survive, because it was still, you have gangbangers hanging out in the back of my house on the alley, drinking until like 2, 3 in the morning, sitting in the car having loud music. The next day I had to get up at school like at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, go to school, and it's just different. It was a different world, but like I said, that's what I was used to living. I thought that was just normal,
Yeah. So, Eddie, who came into your life that influenced you the most, that maybe saved your life even?
You know what? That's something that I
Maybe some teachers, maybe?
One junior high teacher that I remember, her name was Miss Laura. And believe it or not, the way that she will talk to us in class and everything. I remember one time she invited me to stay after class. So when I stood after class, she gave me this tape, this to listen to. So I went home and listened, and believe it or not, Randy, that's the first time I heard the most beautiful music I ever heard in my whole entire life. And I still remember it was the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
I never heard it before. I never know what opera was. But when I started hearing it, I go, wow, what is this? Like, it took me by surprise. And ever since that day, when she told me about the shows, how they were, how they do all this acting and all this stuff, I wanted to go see it live.
Yeah.
And I waited my whole life to go see it live. And for the first time, about 5 years ago, I had a chance when I was living in New York to go see it live. And I never went. The reason why? Because nobody wanted to go with me, and I didn't want to go by myself. So that's why I threw my tickets away. I go, nobody wants to go with me.
Oh my goodness.
And even up to this point, I still want to go see them live.
Well, you definitely should do that. I've seen it live a couple times, and you definitely should do that.
Okay, so I may put it on my bucket list and go see it. That's one of the shows that I don't want to miss.
Absolutely. So, you got to a point where you had your first fight. And that was in what year?
That was in 1997, I believe. 97, 96, 97, around there. My first fight.
And who were you fighting?
My first fight, actually, they put me into a kickboxing fight because they needed somebody to fill in the show. And at that point, my trainer said, dude, we don't have a fight for you. We got you ready for this fight, but they got a kickbox fight. And I told him, I don't know how to kickbox. Because you don't have to. Just use your hand and don't get kicked. That's what he told me. I said, okay. So on my first fight, I still remember the fight up to this day. They brought this guy from Japan. He was 20-0. And they was putting me as my first kickboxing fighter.
Wow.
And I'm going in there and thinking, okay, so don't use your legs. Just tell me, just move away, let him come to you. That's what he was telling me. Okay. So remember that as soon as the bell rang, I don't know how I did it, but I got through one kick. And when it hit me, it hit my knee. And I remember that was the worst pain I ever felt. And when it hit my knee, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get kicked again. So I remember, I don't know what I did, but I remember I threw a right hand. And I remember I dig it right to the body. I came on a body shot. I ended up cracking his ribs. As soon as I connect to the body, boom, I remember seeing him drop like a sack of potato.
Wow.
Little did I know, that shot broke his ribs. And that was in 30 seconds. At that point, I looked at him and I go, don't get out, because my leg, I started to limp. And as soon as the fight was over, my trainer goes, I told you just got to use your hand. I go, you didn't tell me it's going to kick me right away. After that, I said, I'm not doing any more kickboxing. So that was my first fight. Fighting that guy, he was 20-0. They thought I was going to... But the difference between kickboxing and boxers, like, they didn't think that I was training already for a fight. To turn pro boxing,
Yeah.
But they're so used to getting kicked, and people want to throw punches at kickboxing. They're not the more technical on kicking than punching, so that's my advantage on that. So,
Yeah.
but if I knew once my leg was out, I wasn't gonna be able to move. So I just right away I started digging into the body, boom, and I remember hitting him so hard. I felt like when you get a handful of pasta and it goes, that's what it sounded like. I still remember that noise when I hit him, and I remember going, and then he dropped. I'm thinking, wow, and I'm thinking of something. I just barely touched him, but I didn't think I hit him that hard. But he had like 2 broken ribs at that point. After I said, that's it, no more kickboxing, I'm done.
Wow. So your second fight must have been a real boxing
My
match,
second
huh?
fight was it was at the Craig Western Forum Auditorium. At the forum it was a guy from Nicaragua. They brought him down, and but see, when you bring people from other countries, you don't know how many fights they have. So that fight, it was a tough fight from first pro fight. I mean, the whole distance, you're like, I was all busted up in the first round. The second round, he almost knocked me. In the third round, I hit him and I dropped him, and then he got up, and I saw he going at it. To the end of the fight, he was so cut up. I don't even remember me cutting him up. Or I remember this guy was so tough. I felt like I was getting hit with, like when you get like brain freeze or when you eat ice cream, like every time he will hit me, that's what it will feel like.
Really?
Man, this guy has breach in his hand, so what? But my first fight, it was a draw. So I was happy with the draw because I mean, and then we found out that guy had like about 7 professional fights with 4 losses. So I didn't know. I mean, when you come from a different country, you don't keep track of the records. So, and they said that was his first pro debut. So it was a kind of a mismatch in my first fight, but I was able to pull it off. We did good on the first fight.
You're still alive,
Yeah,
right?
we're still alive, still here.
Yeah. And so, your first title fight, when was that?
My first title fight was in 2002. That's when I fought JC Candelo. That's another interesting fight because he was supposed to fight this Canadian guy. It was French guy from he was living in Canada. And his name, I just remember his last name was Alceline or something. And JC Candelo was coming down from fighting Winky Wright. He was fighting down from beating, at that point, the Cuban Lover. He was coming down from beating, fighting some of the toughest fights. He was like ranked number 2 in the world, I think, at that point.
Wow.
And it was a title eliminator fight. So when I took that fight, it was actually on 1 day notice. I remember I was at the weigh-ins at that fight, and I wasn't even supposed to fight. I was the week before that. I was just barely getting better for having the flu. So when I was there at the fight, they're just looking around. Oh, this guy's not gonna make the, not gonna pass the medical. We need somebody to, take his place. And nobody wanted to fight him because he was like destroying everybody at that point.
Wow.
And his trainer was Buddy McCurry. So I remember eating my sandwich, and I'm hearing the promoter saying, "Man, we can fight. Nobody fight him. Nobody wants to fight him." And I was thinking aloud, but when I was thinking, I don't know, I was saying that aloud. I was eating my sandwich, and I looked at him, and I said, "What's so good about this guy? I'll fight him." But I was thinking it in my head, And the promoter heard me that I said it aloud, and everybody looked at me. He goes, "Eddie, would you like to fight?" And like, at that point, I don't know if they were serious on that. And I go, "Sure, when?" It was, tomorrow.
Wow.
Tomorrow night. I go, "What do you mean tomorrow night? It's already like, I haven't even trained, I haven't done anything. It's already like 5 o'clock. I'm going to come back tomorrow and fight, it's 5 o'clock, the main event." I mean, like, so they started negotiating. I go, "Okay, well, what weight do you want me to fight?" "Well, we need you to lose 10 pounds. Well,
In
10
one
pounds
day.
in 1 day, like overnight." And this fight was actually being televised on ESPN. And even up to this now, they still have it there. But so I'm thinking about it. I go, 10 pounds. I go, it's a title fight. I haven't trained. They offered me pretty good decent money at that point. So what do I got to lose? I mean, if I lose, I'm already, everybody knows because I wasn't ready. So I said, okay, I'll take it. And at that point, my manager looked at me. My manager was Lou Messina. Lou Messina, one of the most, I can't even describe how gentle, helpful, good person he is. And also, my other manager was a lawyer that does, his name was Gino Mancetti. He was also a great guy, Italian. But when they were helping me because they were doing it as a hobby, because they just know, hey, they wanted to get into boxing just to see part of the sport. But they never expected that we are going to get a shot like that.
Yeah.
So when they heard me say that I'll take it, they were like, "Hey, you haven't trained, you haven't do it." I go, "It's only like, what, 8 rounds? No, 12 rounds. Like, I didn't know at that point. I was like just still trying to get better from the flu and everything. And you know who the guy is? I go, "I don't care." I go, "They're all gonna come out. They're gonna throw. We're all gonna get hit the same way. We all come out the same way." But then, when I got home, I started working my butt out to lose the 12 pounds overnight. Man, that was like the whole time I was working out, and I was inside the ring and shadow boxing and visualizing this, and there's the whole time that I was in there, I already saw that fight in my head. How I was gonna go in this round, how it's gonna happen in that round. If this happened in this round, I would take a knee and just take a break, and then pick it up in the round. The whole fight, I already had it in my mind. Like, I already won it in my mind. Once I felt comfortable enough to say I have it won in my mind, we're ready. But little did I know that I was already like doing and dropping weight. I had the sauna suit. I was like drinking water. I was doing this, but just in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, just every round that went by, I kept thinking, okay, I lost 2 pounds. I lost 2 more pounds. But little did I know that I was actually losing them. I was just putting it in my mind, I'm losing pounds.
Wow.
So instead of losing 10 pounds in 1 day, I lost 12 pounds in 1 day. So when we got to that fight, the next morning, they wanted me to make the weight at 154 for I have to be by 10 o'clock. I had to be weighing. No, but 10 o'clock was the later time limit to weight that weight limit. So we came in. I came in weighing exactly 154. So after that, I said, okay, well, you're fighting tonight. Go to your room, relax. At that point, I just went to my room, and I went back, and then we went and grabbed something to eat. We were trying to get something to eat, and I remember looking at everybody's faces. Everybody was nervous. Everybody was like freaking out, scared. And I remember looking at everybody. I go, why are you guys scared? Why are you guys nervous? I'm the one that's gonna be getting punched, not you guys. You know.
Right.
So we're gonna do this. I go, we're not losing. We're gonna win. I said, okay. So we go back to the hotel room, and then we start going back to the locker room. We start getting ready, and ESPN was making a big deal about, oh, this guy's not ready to fight this fight. I don't know what kind of performance. At first they were saying that that wasn't gonna last no more than 2-3 rounds if I'm lucky. So we go into the locker room. We come into the room, and I remember as I come into the ring, as soon as I stepped in the ring, Randy, I'll be honest, I went in there and took a deep breath, and I go, man, I'm home. And as soon as the bell rang, boom, the soul ring, I was like a totally different person. I started putting the pressure on. I started backing them down. I started like landing right hands. I started landing like with everything that I could. And then he kept coming back and forth. The fight was going like back and forth, to the point that the commentator were like surprised that he was going this, like, okay. Like by the third round, he was like, I was winning 2-1 by the third round. The third round he won. The fourth round I came back and won. The fifth round it was even. The sixth round, my body started to feel like, man, it's getting like tired. So the sixth round, I took a knee when he was coming down, and everybody like. But when I took the knee, it seemed like he threw a punch at the same time. He barely grazed me on the shoulder, but it seemed like he hit me. So when I took the knee down, I looked at my corner. I winked at him. I go, I'm okay. I'm just catching my breath. So my corner just went down. Okay, he's good. So as soon as I got up, I rushed him again. I started like boom, boom, breaking the body down, hitting everything that I could. At that moment, At that point, I wasn't even thinking what I had in me. I just wanted to go win this round. So that round he won it. We go back to the corner, and the thing that helped me at that point, that I had to change mouthpieces, because back then I was using a double mouthpiece, and it's hard to breathe those. So I changed it to a single one. As soon as I put that in, I felt like this my second win came out, like I was fresh again.
Wow.
So as we going at it to that fight, I remember my body was like, I'm feeling like, man, something's wrong with my body, because people didn't know, little did they know, I wasn't supposed to be fighting before, because what happened before that, I was a victim of a road rage incident. I got stabbed and I was left for dead on the street. I was declared dead for 3 minutes and 30 seconds at the hospital to say I wasn't going to be able to fight anymore. So a lot of people that were there to fight, they didn't knew that. The commentators there, the people from ESPN knew that. And then at that point, I felt like my whole body's going to come out of me. I mean, like I was having an out-of-body experience again.
Wow.
So as we were going, the rounds went on, and for some reason that fight, like people were saying, like the whole crowd turned around, they were cheering for me. People started getting into it. The commentator were like excited. I remember they were like saying like they couldn't believe what was going on. And then on the third round, I remember on the 8th round, I remember he hit me hard, and I almost fell, and I hit the rope, and I said boom, and I held on to him. I'm not going down. But the 9th round, I started moving around. And then on the 3rd round, I remember like he was coming strong, because I remember Buddy McClure telling him, "You're losing the fight. You gotta knock him out." And I could hear from across what he was saying, "You gotta knock him out." As soon as I heard him, he came at me, and I don't know, something told me like just like I could see it in my mind, just like I saw it in the practice. And I go, I gotta step back. When he throws the right hand, I just aside and dig to the body. Sure enough, I saw it. As soon as he did that, I dig to the body, and he buckled up, boom, like he was so wobbly. At that point, that people got up. And when I see him go wobbly, my body goes, I don't got any more strength. I can follow up. So I had to stand back, and then let the round go by. So okay, I won this round. 10 round, it was a war. 11 round was even. It could have gone either way. Now the 12th round came down, and my trainer at that point, he was saying that his son was texting him. He's saying they got Eddie winning on ESPN. He's winning at least 2 rounds. Told him he doesn't need to fight this round, just to move. And when they told me that, what did I do? I go in and fight like a dog, like I was losing. He caught me with a left hook, Randy. I didn't even feel it. Poop, nothing. He threw another one. Poop, I don't feel anything. And when I started saying, I go, why am I going down? I don't feel it. I didn't feel anything. As I going down, I see him standing in front of me. And I say, I'm not going down. So I rushed him I hit him on my shoulder like I was like a football player. And when I hit him right in the solo play, he went flying across the ring, and that way helped me up. And as he went flying, he slipped to the rope. He almost fell, and that gives me time to recoup. And I go, I'm not gonna show him that I'm hurt, because I stood way on the other side of the ring. He was over there trying to get out because I hit him with the shoulder. At that point, he looked at me, and I was looking at him, and he didn't think I was hurt because I had just a poker face. And I go, and as soon as the referee said go, and I'm looking up to the screen, I go, okay, I got 30 seconds, but the time was, I don't know, the time was slow. It's like 2 seconds behind. So as soon as the 30 seconds went, I went and said, I'm gonna give it all I got. We went at it, the whole fight. At that point, people were standing up the whole time. They didn't even want to sit down. The commentator was getting phone calls and reviews, and the fight was over. Like, nobody believed that I went 12 rounds and be able to win the title, losing 12 pounds in one day, being hospitalized for almost 6 months because I was declared dead for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and they were telling me that I was not gonna be able to fight anymore. At that point, I said, you know what? Everybody from the network, the TV were saying, we got so many phone calls. The commissioner was getting phone calls saying that they never seen a fight like that. That actually, it was needed for boxing. It got rejuvenated again when people were losing their hope on boxing. Like, oh, another mismatch. Like, actually, people more tuned in. Like that. It was one of the fights that they made history. Even up to this point, they have it on the ESPN Classics.
My goodness.
And that was my first title fight.
So that fight, if somebody wants to go watch it, they can go to, it's probably on YouTube, right?
I believe so. I haven't had a chance to find it, but I know it's on ESPN Classics.
Okay.
And it's one of the top 10 fights in boxing history. And I'm like ranked number 7 in all boxing history. I'm one of the top 10 upsets in boxing history.
Wow, that's got to be a real thrill. Yeah.
And so it was, I couldn't believe it. It was good,
Wow.
That's good.
So let's fast forward a little bit, and at some point, this young lady comes into your life, the one that you were talking to just a few minutes ago on the phone. So tell us about her.
I met my wife when I came here from New York. I met her, believe it or not, I've been married to her for 2 years, and I moved here about 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
When I met her here, it was one of those things like, I'm gonna go and meet this person, see how he goes. But as soon as I met her, I looked at her walking in, and it has just a very tough cookie. She's the only one that knows how to keep me on my toes and how to control me when I'm getting out of hand. And she knows how to push me when it doesn't. So when I met her, I was like, I see her walking in, she comes with this misdemeanor, because she's always in good shape. She does jiu-jitsu, she does kickboxing.
Wow.
She does Muay Thai, and then I was teaching her boxing. Now I'm teaching her boxing as well. But she comes in, I'm looking at her, and she's from Oregon. And I go, and the first time I saw her, I go, wow, that's she's gonna be the one that's gonna know how to buckle me down.
Tame you, huh?
And I'm not saying that I'm a bad person. I was doing this. It's just it's always one person in your life that knows it's gonna make a big difference.
Yeah.
So we had dinner, we had lunch, and believe it or not, that was my first. I never got on any dates, but that was my first date and my last date. My first date I ever gone, and that was my last date I ever been.
You knew, huh?
I knew, but also it was kind of hard. It was complicated at first because I couldn't read between the lines. She was being hard to get or not, or just a tough cookie. And I loved that about her. I loved that about her. Like just.
So Eddie, how's your life changed since you got married?
My life been good. I have struggles. We got struggles. It's been good. It's been bad. Like a roller coaster. But it's still, I'm just happy to be where I'm at right now. I'm happy that I found this person in my life. I'm happy that when I need someone to call or someone to fall back on, she's there. And like every marriage, we have our ups and downs and everything.
Sure.
I met her, on one of the day I met her, and then after that, like a month later, we got married. At that point, we
Wow,
just
after 1 month.
after 1 month.
Wow.
So you know what? I don't want to waste any time. That's what I told her. You don't want to waste any time. Let's just do this. And we got married, and from there, everything just is history.
Very good. Well, that's amazing. Now, your mother's still alive?
My mother's still alive.
Yeah.
She still lives in California, same area that I was growing up. But she lives half of the year in LA and half of the year goes to Mexico. During the winter time, she goes to Mexico for Christmas and the festivities and all that. But she lives up there. She's still alive. She's doing good, and I'm supposed to be going to go visit her soon. So
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it's the New Year, so good time to do all that, right? So your brothers and sisters are they still in the same area?
3 brothers, 1 sister. 2 of my brothers, my brother and sister live in the same area, and my younger brother lives in San Diego, and my older brother actually decided to move back to Mexico after being here for so long, for like almost our whole life. He decided to go back up there. He's up there living now, so he's doing good as well. I mean, like, he told me that life up there is different. It's not anything like we used to when we were growing up, when they brought us here. But he likes it up there. He
Yeah.
decided to go up there. His wife lives here, and then she goes and visits him every now and then. I just planning to retire and go over there too. So
Yeah. Well, now I understand you have a big event coming up in April, I believe, right? Tell us about that.
we got a big event coming up in April. It's gonna be a 2-day event. That's gonna be on it's basically a cultural event moving into a boxing event. The cultural event is to try to help Vegas after the incident that we have with the shooting and everything. We're calling it Healing Vegas, Las Vegas.
Healing Vegas. Okay.
Yes. And the reason we're doing that because we want to get all the community involved, the people, like, you know, the tragic thing that happened. We want to get everybody involved, come in and help us out. We also, I'm also doing a lot of outreach program for some of the kids and some of the people that need help up there. We're doing it from one of the places that we're working with is Commentary, I think that's what it's called. It's one where they have those outreach kids, kids that don't have no place to go. They come and stay there and they help them out. And we're also helping out some of the veterans and some of the first responders. Also, the event is also for them as well. And some of the homeless people that we're trying to help to, as much as we can, not to be on the street, not to be, you know, up there. Because I know there's a lot of people up there that need help, but they don't get the chance. Nobody gives them the opportunity to actually get to know those people. So that event is going to be a 2-day event. The first day is going to be like a festivities and culture events. People will come and a family concert and everything. It's going to lead on to a boxing event the next day. The boxing event, we're going to be doing that at Silverton.
Silverton Casino.
Silverton Casino on Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
And then, and from there, we're just going to try to do everything that much as we can to try to help the community here in Vegas.
Okay, so you're going to have, it's a 2-day event.
2-day
The
event.
first day is going to be music and
Festivals and carnivals.
And is that at the Silverton as
also
well?
at Silverton as well.
Okay.
We got this property is big enough to hold the event, to do a 2-day event. It's gonna be good. Bring some of the good artists there, and local artists as well, and just try to bring everybody from Vegas and the people help out the outreach kids programs and the homeless and some of the veterans and make them feel, hey, you know what, this is for you guys for helping us here in Vegas and after what happened, you know.
Absolutely. So obviously, if we have viewers that are watching right now that have a business, they can maybe advertise with you and
They could,
maybe help
yeah,
raise some funds.
They could help us raise some funds, you know. They could, if you wanna, if anybody wants to help us, they could send us an email.
Okay.
You know, that I could give you the information later. You could wait. If you want to put it up there, send it to the people.
Yeah, do you have that?
Yeah, I do have it with me. It's actually it's at steensportsunited.com at gmail.com, and I have it right here. That's our our company name. It's right here. That will be the email right
Okay,
there.
go ahead and just read that off so everybody will be able to write it down.
If you want to help out to the community and the people that need help after what happened here in Vegas, the email it is Esteem Sports United.
So it's Esteem, ESTEEM.
Sports United
Sports.
at
United.
gmail.com.
Okay,
I mean-
Esteem Sports United at gmail.com. Okay, that's easy enough. Good.
So anybody that wants to get involved and help out with the community and help Las Vegas after what happened, and some of the kids up there that need help, you guys are welcome.
Now, is there information online? Can they go to Esteem Sports?
You can call the office number,
Okay.
which is area code 702 550-9133, and one of our representatives, one of the people at the office, will give you all the info that you need, or they'll send you a package or whatever you guys need.
Perfect.
Be there.
Oh, that's great. Well, Eddie, it's just great having you here and hearing a little bit about some of your boxing experiences. But let me ask you a question. Who do you think, out of all the people you've met in your entire life, now obviously your wife is probably would win this one, but so let's take her out of that. But besides her, who do you think's influenced you the most in a positive way?
It wouldn't be fair just to say one person.
Yeah.
Every person that came in my life that helped me, that influenced the most, played a big role. I mean, from my boxing trainer to, co-workers, to my wife, to family members, friends, they all played a big part, because every person brought something into my life that I needed at that point. When I needed, whether it was help mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, or whatever, there was always someone there that will give me that extra boost.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be fair just to say one person did this. No, because and also, like I said, I give also thanks to God, because He also guide me the right way and put the right people in front of me.
Yeah.
Because, believe it or not, I would have been lost by now. I would have totally been. I wouldn't know what I'd be doing if I would have had all those people right there in front of my life, and that way God guided my life to be here and be there. It's just life. It's just a very interesting story.
It definitely is. So you were one of those kids that were born in another country. You came here. You have siblings that are born here, and sort of one of the DACA kids, sort of, right? And having gone through all that, I mean, that had to, that had to affect you, I'm sure, a lot. But what does the United States mean to you now?
It means a home. It means a place that anybody could come and have a second chance. Most people don't understand that there's so many things that we could do here that we cannot do in other places. There's so many opportunities here to do here. There's so many. Somebody told me this, and they said that I was Mexican born but American made. And the reason,
that's a good way to say it. Yeah.
It's just the opportunities you have here, all possibilities. I mean, and when you talk about having freedom, you do have a lot of freedom. You do have a lot of things you can do here you can't do in other places, in other countries. I mean, I travel a lot of places, different third world countries, different, it's just, this country is very blessed. That's all I gotta say. It's very blessed, and we're lucky to be here.
Well, it definitely is a special place for sure. And Eddie, you're a special guy. I mean,
Thank you.
You have a great story. It's just an amazing story. I mean, what are the odds, right?
What are the odds? I would never thought, at this point, I never thought I was going to be alive. After I was declared dead for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I never thought I was going to be coming back.
We're just about out of time, but real quick, you talked about that earlier. And tell us, if you could, in about 30 seconds or so, a little bit about that story.
Well, basically, it happens a week before that fight that I was supposed to be fighting Fernando Vargas before he fought Mayorga. We were coming from the mall. One of the little kids and I were coming from buying running shoes, and this guy was just out of control, having a road rage, bumping into a lot of cars, and he cut me off, and he got mad at me because I told him to move out of the way, and then all of a sudden I couldn't move back because there's a car behind me. He comes out with a knife.
Oh, wow.
Pretend I was gonna get the kid. I get out of the car, and then he got me like right below my heart, 2 inches below the heart, and then right in the middle. So basically, everything, my insides just exploded, and after that, it just, next thing I know, I'm gone, and I'm waking up in the hospital. That's a quick version, real quick.
And what year was this?
That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I was barely 29. No, I was 30. Yeah, no, I was 28 when that happened.
It's after you had finished fighting.
Yes.
My goodness. Well, we just never know. We're so. You just got to be thankful. You got to wake up thankful that we have the day, and that it's the best day of our life because it's the day we have, right?
Yes, it is.
So many things can happen for sure. Well, Eddie, thanks so much for being here. It's just been
Thank
just a
you for having
delight
me here.
to hear your story.
It's an honor.
So we'll see you soon, and we'll see you next week, same time, same station. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.